What's up, everybody? So we're looking at Euro USD. So now, hence you all know, I start on the daily time frame and scale down. In other words, I start from the daily time frame and go to the 4 hour, go to the 1 hour, and then I execute on the 15-minute time frame. So we're looking at Euro USD. So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna mark my highs and lows. So I can see that the high that we have is right here, and then we also created this high right here. We also created that high right there, and I'm gonna mark my lows too. So guys, remember that when it comes to forex, it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's something you have to learn. It's a skill, it's a craft, and once you got it, nobody can take it away from you, right? So we marked our highs and we marked our lows, and my strategy is supply and demand, which is support and resistance, right? So far I can see that the recent high we created a resistance whereby it's also acting as a support. Hence y'all can see, right? We created a resistance whereby it's also acting as a support, and again price might reject and continue pushing to the upside, or we might break that support or go down, right? So now that I've marked my highs and lows and I've placed my support and resistance, I'm gonna go down to the 4 hour time frame, right? So I'm gonna go down to the 4 hour time frame. So when we get on the 4 hour time frame, y'all can see that price has been respecting that support zone, right? And by this, what do I mean? Let me show y'all. Y'all can see that we've been creating those lower low, lower high, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and a lower high, and a lower low. And now we just rejected that support right now. And what do you expect? Obviously, you think price might still continue pushing down, but it might fake out first. But hence, I believe price is gonna respect this zone and continue pushing to the upside, right? And hence, y'all can see on the 4 hour time frame, we also created some kind of a resistance too. This wick right here, this wick right here. So this is where we're predicting price to go, right? So now hence we marked and we did our analysis. We go down to the 1 hour time frame and we're gonna see it more properly, right? Hence y'all can see that we've been respecting that support zone. And what do I mean by that? This is what I mean. We have this support zone right here that we've been respecting. We have this support zone that we've been respecting, and for us to execute, we gotta wait for price to reject and for the market to come to us, for price to show us that hey, it's literally gonna go up. Remember guys, these are candlesticks, so don't get confused or don't try to do a lot of things at once, because that's how you end up getting confused and not knowing what you're doing, right? So I'm just gonna move this and y'all can see what I'm talking about now. Now we're gonna scale down to the 15-minute time frame, whereby that's where we execute. So on the 15-minute time frame, y'all can see we've been creating those lower lows and lower highs, and we've been consolidating for a minute too, right? And by that, what do I mean? Y'all can see this consolidation that we've been creating right here. Y'all can see the consolidation that we've been creating right here. We've been consolidating for a minute. So before we execute or before we enter the trade, we gotta wait for a confirmation. What I like to say is don't just trade, but wait for a A+ setup, right? So now we're on the 15-minute time frame and we're looking for a long position, right? So what are we gonna do? We're gonna target that previous high, and our stop loss is gonna be right under our support zone. So take profit, we're gonna target our last high or our recent high. So this is what we're looking at, and this is how we expect the market to play out. Hence y'all can see we've been consolidating for a while, created that lower low, we created that lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And y'all can see that lower low too. We created that lower high, lower low, and we've been consolidating from there on. And y'all can see that we've been consolidating. And what I expect is for price to push up, retest the support zone, and continue pushing up. So this is what we're looking at actually. And again, this is Euro USD. So remember, we start by analyzing on the daily time frame. In other words, the daily time frame is our playground, and the 15-minute is where we execute. In other words, that's where we take our trades. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like. You know I keep it short and simple. Breezy signing out.